Live.
She alright. We can stop worrying now. She alright.
Nah, I just do want to give shout out to my bro Shai. Sair's been checking up on me, asking me how I've been doing, and everything like that. I did have a scare. People, you do gotta take care of yourself. You get to a certain age. Sad to say, we all get there. I was 7 days in the hospital. It was a really scary ordeal. Being diabetic, high blood pressure, stuff is scary and real, man. My body was basically shutting down.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we went into DKA. That's when your blood starts turning into acid because your sugars are not taken care of. And I didn't know that I had high blood pressure like that, so it was all in one. Yeah. But I just want to thank God and thank my friends and everybody that's been inboxing me. I know I didn't answer for a couple of days to certain people, but it's because it's not that I didn't want to, it's that I really couldn't. I had to really get better, and I just want to thank everybody for checking up on me.
That's for sure. Well, we all glad that you on the road back to health and you out moving around, stopped in to see us and all that. Like I said, hey, and you know how Facebook is, right?
Yeah, I
You
know.
can just make posts like you have made a few posts saying day this, day whatever. And Facebook might not never put them in your timeline. But as soon as you made a video crying, that video went everywhere.
And I was like, like to my family, they'd be like, "Man, she's a trip, bro. Like, how could you record yourself being like that?" Because that's reality. I ain't always pretty and out here, facing,
Hey, to hell with how you look. Like, hey, like I
that's
like
real.
different people. It's you got the experiencer and the experiencee. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I took that totally different, I suppose, if they was worried about how the hell you look, because I don't even remember how you look.
Oh,
You know, like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I was more so on the fact damn, she's scared, like this ain't good, you know what I mean? Like, I done spent time with people in the hospital before that was trying not to be alone when they go and all that, so that came off totally different to me. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, that, like I said, I'm glad you out because that shit that scared the hell out of me. You know what I mean?
And to be in that predicament like that, like, man, that's just, it's crazy when you're on the other side for real though, because you're really feeling it and really going through it, and you don't have no control of your body. You don't have an understanding what the hell's going on. But once you're there, you're really there for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I had a brother, he done passed away now, but he was in the house of correction when his illness took over him. He just woke up one day and couldn't get out his bunk.
And it's like some people be like, later, I'll go later, but later, like like that, in that predicament, it's messed up. There is no later.
Yeah,
So you gotta start taking care of you now,
yeah,
not later. Don't ignore the shakiness. Don't ignore the dizziness, the dry mouth, the watery mouth, all those type of things. Yes, I believe that detoxing and cleansing your body is really, really important too, because we most of the time always in a goal and trying to eat fast and just taking whatever in, and you're not realizing once it settles in there, like, how long is it really going to take to digest and get out your system and stuff, especially if you already have health problems or if you come from a family that already has that in their background. Make sure you take care of yourself, because you could be actually, stopping it from actually happening or provoking anything else to happen that could be serious or life threatening.
yeah. And it makes me want to ask you, like, is it like, I know in the black community, man, like, healthcare is ignored. You know what I mean? Like, hey, especially for most guys, they know they alright if they girl go to the doctor and she alright.
Okay, in the Latino community, yeah, it's scary, but a lot of us think like this, instead of thinking the good that's gonna come out of it. I'm gonna say in Spanish, like, chingao, yo no quiero ir porque me van a, me van a cobrar, which means, shit, I don't want to go because they're gonna fucking bill me. What are you talking about? And then if I go, si voy, me van a hallar algo. And if I go, they're gonna find something out. It's always something.
Right.
And then like, well, yeah, that's why they're called doctors, because they're supposed to check on us to figure out what is wrong with us so we could fix the problem.
Like, all I came here for was get a teeth clean, and y'all didn't have to tell me nothing about fractured ribs.
I just have your Vicks at all times and a 7-Up on your side, and you'll be fine. You have if you have your 7-Up, Vicks, and a hot soup, chicken soup, homemade soup, you good. You ready to conquer the world, the Latino community. And that's crazy.
Yeah,
we all have our own little supposedly things that help us get cured fast. What's one of y'all what's one of y'all things that y'all use? Us is Vicks.
Sleep.
But like not doing.
You just need some rest.
I just be there.
Get some rest. I'll be alright. I just need some rest.
Like they call me from work talking about, can I come in? I'm like, y'all just
like, I guess they didn't see your video.
This one girl at work been asking me for days, are you coming back? Are you coming back? She's my coworker in my office. And my question to Lauren is, man, you sound stressed the fuck out, bro. I think Lauren wants me to come back to work.
So she can leave.
I'm coming back, Lauren. Don't worry. I'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Man.
But, man, healthcare is very, very important, man. Very important in all communities,
And there is payment plans and stuff like that. You guys, too. People be like, man, like I said, the billing, that does kill. Shoot, anybody and anyone. But if you have loved ones, your mom, your dad, and you really want them to last a little longer, you have to do everything that you can in your own will and power. And being, middle class and being in the lower class, that's kind of stuff kind of scares us and does put us in a halt a lot of times because we feel that there isn't any real help, even though we are Americans. Like, it's kind of sad.
Oh, man. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It should cost too much.
So when did you find out that you was diabetic?
I found out that I was diabetic, like maybe I want to say about 4 years back. So I'm still kind of fresh and new to everything, but I can't lie and say that I'm not familiar with it because my mother was a diabetic and she actually did pretty well taking care of herself, I want to say. I believe what did kill my mother, to be honest, is metformin medication, which is a type of diabetes pill that you take for type 2. She had liver damage. My mom never really drank. She never smoked. She never did anything. So for her liver to be, that diluted and deteriorated and hurt, like if she was an alcoholic. Yeah. So, you have to be careful. So, yeah, I would say Januvia is a newer pill that probably works way better than metformin. I really don't recommend metformin to many people.
I always wonder, like, excuse me, what be the natural options of things? Because, like, these pills, they went and got some plant, something from somewhere, and they added some other stuff to it and then made a pill. But what's the option of not taking the pill? You know what I mean?
The number one thing that people bypass all the time is water. The water dilutes sugar down. Water breaks everything down. So the more intake of water that we actually do have in our body, and it's sad because I'm educated on this and I know I don't listen to this shit neither. But, is water. Cactus is another natural supplement that actually helps you lower your AC1, which is your glucose and your sugar. And also cinnamon, too. It's another natural substance that actually helps you control your sugar. So there is a lot of natural stuff that we can actually do. I don't know, maybe I should make a blend of cinnamon with some greens and kale. I'm pretty, it's out there. I know it is.
Right.
It's just that some of us are willing to learn versus people that don't want to learn.
Right, definitely. But it seems like more people these days, man, in times been getting on it. You know what I mean? You see a lot more of it even on social media. People talking about things, cooking things, doing things different, growing their own food.
Being more spiritual, I would say. Like more closer to like our ancestors, things that we used to intake before, all this wonderful McDonald's, strawberry shortcake, McFlurries.
And then one thing I always think about is this, right? And it's like every culture, so to say, has a grocery store that cater to them and from where they from. Like you got Mexican grocery stores,
like
you got
back in the
Asian
day,
grocery stores that actually have the products that come from there.
Yeah.
And I think that mattered too, like, because we get over here and ain't none of us eating what we would be eating if we was in our original homes.
Being a native from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we had Lena's growing up and El Rey. So them two are always in the hood, like for sure. Lena's had a whole bunch of locations and they shut down,
Yeah.
I just hope that El Rey never closed down, but what we would do without those, stores, because I used to go to that side of town to make sure I get my ribs, corned beef. I'm a Southern, my family's from Texas, these guys, so we like to cook Tex-Mex, which is like, I would say Mexican food with soul food, like when we barbecue and everything. That's why we're so healthy.
Yeah.
You eat so well.
Right.
You gotta have food though in your life too. So I understand it's hard. It really is hard. How can you? I mean, I like baked beans, but I make my baked beans with like ground beef, and like they say, ground beef is horrible. But when you put it together with your baked beans, it don't taste horrible.
Right. Like everything bad for you tastes so good.
I like beef rib tips, I really try to stay away from pork. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna say that I don't eat pork. Like the most pork I probably eat, maybe once for real truthful, is some carnitas once in a blue moon, and I can't say no to bacon. But chicken, fish, all that stuff, all that stuff is good, especially seafood and stuff like that.
Definitely. Man, speaking of all this food, man, got me over here hungry. Ramadan came to an end, so we can eat now. And it's time for the munchie mixes, man. That's right.
Right on time.
Pitch Control DJs on DJ Switch or DJ Johnny G providing your lunchtime soundtrack. So y'all keep it locked, man. HittingHardRadio.com, The Morning Shift, MKE. Let's get to these mixes, y'all.
This is HittingHardRadio.com.
Let me ask you something. Would you like to build a podcast? And if you have one built, wouldn't you like to get as much exposure for it as possible? Because HittingHardRadio.com is plugging local and national podcasters with the opportunity for more web and radio exposure. With our staff of cameramen and audio experts, we supply the technical tools needed for your podcast to reach a much wider audience. Now, you have a studio set location and access to professionals using professional equipment to film and record your show. And you get to go and upload it wherever you want. But I bet you're wondering how much all this top-notch access will cost you. Well, that's the special part, $60 an hour. That's right. You can access our studio, our staff members, and our equipment for $60 an hour to film and record your podcast. So let me ask you again. Would you like to build a podcast? Good. Call 414-366-7102. That's 414-366-7102 to make an appointment with Eleazar Maldonado to get you started.